Welcome and praise Jesus. I invite you to our wisdom session. In these sessions, we shall be learning wisdom keys from the Bible that are very applicable and that shall make us outstanding. Today, we shall read Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5. Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. We shall emphasize on increasing in learning and obtaining guidance. What is learning in simple terms? Learning is acquisition of knowledge or skills over time through experience. The wise, they hear and they increase in learning. And so why should you learn in the first place? Learning is an indication of growth. What distinguishes a child from an adult is not necessarily age. Most of the time, what distinguishes a child from an adult is maturity. That's a function of knowledge acquired over time. And so an adult knows how to express himself, knows how to manage the emotions, knows how to reason. But a child, because of limited exposure in life, has limited way of handling those factors. And therefore learning is an indication that we are growing. So to say, if you are not a student, if you are not learning, you are not growing. As I've just illustrated, you can find someone who is in 40s behaving, for example, like someone who is in 20s. The issue is learning. The issue is acquisition of knowledge. And so the moment you stop to learn, you stop to grow. Why should we learn? Learning is what will make us efficient in life. We don't have to be blunt in life. Naturally, if you are to cut, say, vegetables using a blunt knife, or if you are to fall a tree using a blunt axe, yes, you shall still manage, but you'll have to use excess energy and it can be very frustrating. And also, the moment you don't grow in learning in life, we become less efficient, because then we shall struggle to accomplish things that appear obvious. We shall struggle to manage relationship. We shall struggle to achieve results and even just understand life. And so the moment you increase in learning, by default, we become efficient in life. And also, learning will make us more valuable in how the salaries and remuneration commission categorizes people, job group A and all that, actually is a function of learning, is a function of the knowledge acquired. And that's why even naturally, the position that we consider high-end managerial, you'll find them, for example, asking or requiring some academic qualification. For example, should be a doctor or should have masters. And even when it comes to technical skills, they will prefer those who have experience, because the assumption is they have increased in learning, they have acquired knowledge. And so the more we learn, the more we become valuable. And the lesser you learn, the lesser you become valuable. Those are some of the three basic reasons that we can demonstrate why we should learn. And so, what should we learn? First of all, it's important for me to say we should be a 360 degrees student, because our life is compartmentalized. You can be, for example, if you're a woman, you can be a wife, who is a mother, who is a professional, and therefore you have to learn how to become a wife. Don't assume you know, because most of the time we approach life with common sense. You can assume that you know how to be a parent, acquire knowledge in light of parenting. You can be a wife. Don't assume that you know how to become a wife, acquire knowledge on how to manage your family affairs. At the same time, your life can have a face as a professional. Also, there's something to learn in light of your profession. And therefore, we should not limit our learning just in light of our professional services. Our learning should be 360 degrees, always acquiring the relevant skills, new information, ever increasing in learning. And therefore, also in learning, we should not graduate. Our education system has cultured us to believe, for example, if you have done your first graduate, your undergrad, you've graduated. Sometimes many people don't proceed to learn anything else. And therefore, you can find that if say, for example, you finished your degree and you choose not to learn anything, you can find that with time you become less valuable. Why? Because your definition of learning was just limited to school setup. But even after that graduation, after the schooling system, there is still more you can learn. There are more skills you can learn. You can still improve in yourself and know yourself better. And so when it comes to learning, there is no graduation. It's an ever increasing affair. Yes, you can graduate from the point of there's a course you are taking with a definite syllabus. It had a set timeline. But now once you finish, it does not mean that is the end of learning. There is always what is new to learn. And also you can learn from mistakes, because the moment you learn from mistakes, the wiser you become. You don't have to repeat the same mistakes 10 times. You can read the first time, maybe the second time, but learn from those mistakes, ever increasing in learning. Don't keep on repeating, blaming other people. You keep on repeating, blaming the government. You keep on repeating. That is not how it should be. You learn from those mistakes, and also you learn from the mistakes of others, so that you don't have to fall into pits that others have already fallen into. You are able to overcome what has made others to trample. And also, we should learn the fact that how, for example, should we learn? First of all, we can leverage on technology. You know, we are in the information age, and access to knowledge is not as difficult as it used to be in the past. You know, in the past, for example, you had to access library for you to attain or rather access some information. But with technology, you're able to access a lot of information just with technology. And I can give, for example, myself. I have not gone to Bible school, but I've leveraged technology to study the Bible. I follow Bible teachers. I self-educate myself to those who are experts in Bible reading. Even part of what I do as a profession, one thing I also do is landscaping. I didn't have to go to school to learn landscaping. I just leveraged on technology, began to practicing it, in addition to what I learned as a civil engineering student. And therefore, we can leverage on technology. We don't have a reason to be ignorant in this age. And also, we can use the conventional system, where now you have to go to school, get a degree, get a master's. Those are conventional systems, which are also effective. But also, most importantly, you can learn from the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit, his name is a teacher, and is able just to teach you some things that school cannot teach you, experience cannot teach you, technology cannot teach you. We cannot limit the teaching ministry of the Holy Spirit. And so how should we obtain guidance? Because we are tackling increase in learning as a wisdom component of life, and then obtaining guidance. If you are to visit a national park, for example, and you want to see lions, and then maybe you want to see also all the scenic features, you will need the service of a tour guide, because the tour guide has an advantage that he knows where you shall find that lion, so that you have to save time. He will know where the scenic feature is, what you want, and so he will just take you where those features are. And also in life, we should identify our guides in light of where you want to go. In light of your persona, identify the guides who have already gone there. And then once you've identified them, you need to be a good follower, because it will save you time. They have the advantage that they have already been to where you're going. They have seen the challenges. They understand the ropes. They have overcome those challenges. And even in some, they have made mistakes and they have learned and obtained identify your guides, and become a good follower. And then also research and make data-driven decisions. Mostly Christians, you can assume that because God has told you something, you don't have to research more. You can assume because God has told you go and begin this business, therefore you just go and begin. That is not how it should be. Obtain guidance. In as much as there is the prompting, there is the inspiration, it does not take the place of research. Because research basically is accumulation of knowledge, information, and facts so that you can make an informed decision, so that now you can see the 360 degrees view of whatever you want to do. And also, in obtaining guidance, again, we cannot neglect the ministry of the Holy Spirit, because one assignment He has for us is to guide us into truth. Sometimes you can do your research, you have the facts, and they appear very logical, but the Holy Spirit is able to guide you. For example, 2020, if you are to begin a business, say hospitality, you've done your research, you have enough data. You cannot know that COVID is coming. At that point, only the Holy Spirit can be able to restrict you and tell you, as much as you have these facts, this is not the right timing, because a pandemic is coming, and so He shall restrain you. And therefore, in obtaining guidance also, the ministry of the Holy Spirit is of essence. And so, one wisdom component that we need to learn today, as we have said, is if you are to be wise, increase in learning, and if you are to be wise, obtain guidance. And that's what we have for today. See you in our next session. God bless you.